Yo, what's up, everyone? Back for this Tuesday slate. We got a full slate for today. One of the last days before NFL, just starting on Thursday. We'll have a video out for that showdown slate either later today or tomorrow. And I already posted the main slate for NFL, so I encourage you to check that out if you want to. I'll post a link in the description if I remember. But on this slate, we have a bunch of top-end pitching. We have some good stacks, so a lot to talk about. Let's get right into it. You can drop a like and subscribe down below. I appreciate that. And if you want, you can check out the website. Links in description as well. Starting off at pitcher, as always, we have three of the top pitchers in baseball with Clevinger, Scherzer, and DeGrom going at it. Clevinger is obviously going to be the most popular play against the White Sox. Scherzer probably makes a good GPP play. He hasn't been great as of late, but his pitch count has been rising, and he might be able to go 100 pitches in a matchup against the Mets. And then DeGrom also is probably going to be good for GPPs because, he has massive upside, but I don't think a lot of people are going to play him over a guy like Clevinger in the matchup. And I'm still going to go with Clevinger just for safety. And, if you play cash, I think Clevinger is the way to go. Just because we have some more value on the slate, so it's not going to be that difference paying up for him or for DeGrom. At 12,200, he's been excellent all season. He's only gone 86 innings, so his arm is still pretty strong, unlike some other pitchers, just because he was injured for a large part of the season. But he's been great, especially as of late. A bunch of 30-point games facing the White Sox. They have one of the highest strikeout rates in baseball, and all Clevinger does is strike people out. He goes very deep into games. He's gone over 100 pitches in almost all of his starts, especially I think it's been 3, 6, 9 in 9 straight starts. And he has a bunch of 10 strikeout games. He goes pretty deep into the ball game, doesn't give up a ton of walks, and he's only given up 6 home runs throughout his 86 innings. So love Clevinger. And then especially with a guy like Mike Montgomery here at 4,300. I don't know how popular he's going to be. He's going to be very popular, but it's hard to get away from him. I mean, DraftKings is basically asking you to play him. 4,300 after what he's done lately, facing the Tigers, put up 41 against the Tigers. He's been pitching fine in some tough matchups, 19 against the A's, 19 against the Mets, 16.5 against the Red Sox. So it's not like he's been bad. He's decent with the strikeouts. He's not a good strikeout pitcher, but you don't need that much strikeouts. He did have 12 strikeouts against the Tigers, so they're just so bad that any pitcher can have success against them. And Montgomery can definitely do it again, especially the way he's been going. And for his career, he's never been terrible. He's always just been average. And 4,300 is too cheap for him, especially with the upside that he has in a matchup against the Tigers. So I think Clevinger-Montgomery combo is going to be popular, but I think that's the way I want to go. And just kind of get different with the bats, because all you need is one unique lineup. So you don't really have to worry about too much ownership if you go different with a couple bats. A lot of good teams to stack on today. My favorites are going to be start at the end here with the Dodgers against Chichi Gonzalez and that bad bullpen. Love the Dodgers. They're pretty good prices on them too. Like the A's a lot against Berea. I love the Cubs against Felix Hernandez, especially with this shaping up to be a Wrigley win game. And then I really do like the Braves a lot. They have one of the higher totals on the slate. Same thing with the Indians. The wind is blowing out in this one. It's supposed to be like 15 to 17 mile per hour winds blowing out. With a guy like Dylan Cease, who's gotten hit around so far in the big leagues. The Indians are still missing Jose Ramirez, but they still have some other good hitters with Santana, Lindor, Reyes with power, Puig has power, so they're still a powerful lineup. And that's kind of it. Those are the teams I'm looking at stacking. First base, going to go with Anthony Rizzo. He's been really good against righties, and he's been really good at home. He's facing a bad righty, and he's playing at home, especially with the wind blowing out here. We know that the wind plays up power in this park more than any other park, and Rizzo has a ton of power, especially at home. This season, he's batting .310 against righties with 20 of his 25 home runs. At home, he's batting .335 with a really good .251 ISO. Doesn't strike out much at all. 14% strikeout rate, 14.8%, and he does walk quite a bit at 12.6%. Just a really good hitter. Facing Felix Hernandez, who gives up power. He has a huge park downgrade going from Seattle into Wrigley Field. So the Cubs look good. especially a guy like Rizzo at first base. On the season so far, Felix has given up a 5.77 slugging to lefties, 5.35 to righties. He's not been good to either side of the plate. He does strike out lefties a little bit more, but they're still hitting the ball hard against him at 43.6%. And last season for Felix, he still struggled a lot against lefties with the power. So he's really just not at a good point in his career. The velocity is way down. The command is not really there. The Cubs look good, especially Rizzo at first base. Next up at third base, I like Josh Donaldson. He's only $4,400. I don't know why he's so cheap today, but he has so much power, 34 home runs on the season. A lot of those home runs have come as of late, and a lot of those home runs have come against righties. And he's also been a lot better at home in Atlanta. This season, he is batting .271 against righties with 26 home runs. At home, he is batting .298 with 19 bombs. Just a lot of power. .271 ISO. And as of late, he's really crushing the ball. He has 8 home runs in August, 10 home runs in July, 8 home runs in June. So after the first couple months where he only had 7 home runs combined, he's really hitting the ball hard and really doing a ton of damage here. Love the Braves. They have a very dangerous lineup, especially with the total that they have on the slate. I'm going to go with some of the cheap ones and just some, they make for a great stack, especially Josh Donaldson at that price tag. I love the Indians too. I like Yasiel Puig. He's been in a little bit of a funk. I think he'll snap out of it in a matchup against Dylan Cease and the White Sox. The wind is really a factor here, blowing out. Should lead to more home runs, more doubles. Puig has some speed with 16 stolen bases. He's been in a slump, like I said, as of late, but I still think that he still bats right in the heart of the lineup. And this is a good spot for him to turn it around against a guy that's been struggling. Cease on the season he just got rocked in his last start against the Twins. He has a 6.92 ERA. He gives up a lot of power, 13 home runs in 52 innings, and he's given up 23 walks. So if Puig, even if he doesn't get a hit, if he can get on base via walk, Puig has some stolen base upside too. So I like him, and Cease isn't a pitcher that stays in the game very long, just because he does give up some walks. Probably looking at 5-6 innings. You don't look at much more out of him. He had 1 7-inning game, but it's pretty rare. So I do think the Indians make for a great stack. Especially Yasiel Puig at that price tag. And last but not least, I like Seth Brown here from the A's at only $3,000, projected to bat like 6th in the lineup. He's been really good since he's been called up. He was killing it in AAA, which is why he got the promotion. And he hasn't done anything but hit the ball in the big leagues. He had a 3-hit game. He's already had a 4-hit game. Facing a righty here in Berea. Berea's been a little reverse splits, but I still think that Brown can do some damage there. Look at his AAA stuff just because the Major League is so small. Sample's so small. Before he got called up, he was batting .297 in AAA with a .634 slugging percentage. He had 37 home runs and 104 RBIs in just 104 games, batting .297. So he has power, and he's been good so far in the big leagues. He's not like a top prospect, but he can definitely come out of the just find his rhythm and work his way to the top. It's happened before, and he's been really good. Maybe he can hit that first home run of his big leagues today. He has power to do that. So that's what I like. Clevenger, Montgomery, Rizzo, Donaldson, Brown, Puig. Focusing on four teams that I really want to stack: the Indians, the Braves, the Cubs, and the Dodgers. If you look at the Dodgers here, my favorites are going to be Bellinger's always a favorite play if you're stacking the Dodgers, but besides Bellinger, I like Pollock a lot at $4,100. I like Corey Seager at just $4,000, and Justin Turner at third base as well. And Gavin Lux, he's also at some prospect pedigree at $3,500. If he's batting near the bottom of the lineup, probably be low owned, but he's really cheap. The A's, one of the top stacks, even though they're playing at home. They're not my favorite, but they're definitely going to be a team that I'd like to get a couple pieces from, especially the value. It's Seth Brown at 3,000. Chris Davis at 3,500. It's a really good value. And Matt Olson's just been really good as of late. On the Cubs, you can full stack this team with Hayward is cheap. Hayward, Castellanos, Schwarber, Bryant, and Rizzo make for a good 5-man stack. And the Braves are also pretty fairly priced with Joyce under 4,000. Acuna is only 51. That's pretty cheap for him. And then we got Swanson at only 42. Donaldson's cheap. Albies is cheap. Freeman is expensive, but he's always expensive. The Braves are a really good value for a lot of the players. And the Indians, same kind of deal. Puig is cheap. Reyes is pretty cheap at 43. I prefer Puig to Reyes just because he's cheaper than him. And depending on who's healthy here, you can still look at a guy like Kipnis if he's in the lineup at just 3,900. So that's some other players I like on those teams. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you haven't checked out the NFL video yet for week 1, I recommend you do that. We'll also be posting a showdown video, like I said, in a couple days or maybe today. But thanks for watching. I appreciate it. You can drop a like if you enjoyed, and good luck today.